is the latest, coolest and most different interface in a car in a while. Meet the new Mini infotainment system that's driven in with its latest generation cars. The 4th generation Cooper hatch, the 3rd generation Countryman compact SUV, and the latest Mini worldwide, the Aceman subcompact crossover SUV. It's not just that it's all housed in this round screen, a first for the industry, but yeah, that does have a lot to do with it. So, Mini partnered with Samsung to develop this unique round-shaped OLED infotainment console for its new models. The screen and the interface within are both round. Let's tell you what it's got. So life's come literally full circle for Mini, because while the last generation car also had a round screen, it was only the housing that was round. The screen itself was rectangular. This is a whole new round interface. The very first time we've seen that developed in the passenger car space. This has been done by Samsung. It's an OLED screen, which makes it very interesting in terms of its actual spec. I'll come to that in a second, but mainly it's just the fact that it's so different and the fact that all your animation, graphics, and everything that's been fit into this has been done keeping that round screen in mind. So take a look at that map, for example, or even something like Apple CarPlay. You actually have a situation where, yes, there is a square, but look what happens when you go to the home screen. Kind of merges into that background. Very cleverly done. So whether the apps support it or they don't, the interface still looks pretty sexy. Designing a circular interface poses a unique challenge as compared to the traditional square or rectangular screens. Mini has taken care of content placement and custom animations quite well, optimizing it for a non-linear display. Now with an OLED screen, you get deeper blacks, a higher contrast ratio, and just a smoother performance overall. And as I was saying earlier, the graphics are just so pleasing. Like if you go to the climate control system, you see the Union Jack, but that's not just a pattern, it's actually the different vents. You know, whether you want to use the demisting vent on the top of the dash, the ones right in front, or the ones down below. So you can actually customize some of that. And then decide which vent you want to switch on. So you can see the lines coming alive. It's just very clever because it's all been done keeping Mini's Union Jack theme in mind. Now, besides all of this, you do get all the functionality in terms of connectivity, and you do get the wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's great because, again, who wants to go with a cable these days? Having said that, there are 2 USB spots here, USB-C, in case you do want to plug in your phone. But if you want to just charge it anyway, there's also this nice wireless charger. Why I say it's nice is because of its position. It's very easy to put your phone in there. It stays out of your view because, well, of course, you can marry it to the screen for all the actual functionality. And it has this little grab handle that kind of keeps the phone from flipping out. That's also finished in the same cloth-like texture of the dash. The dash has this nice inbuilt ambient light quality that, of course, can be changed and customized. It can also go with the different drive modes. The drive modes themselves also have some pretty sexy animation. Let me show you. Well, I think this one really tells you the story of how cool the animation and clarity on that screen is. Just take a look at those colors. Really cute sounds like that, and you got a really different experience than most other cars. And of course, your mind keeps coming back to this crystal clear clarity on that screen. Mini's operating system 9, the optional head-up display, and also, speaking of optional, a 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system that sounds pretty good. I wish you could hear that, like really feel it.
Let me take you on this vacation. Let me take you on this vacation.
Now, a lot of cars these days have that personal assistant, and this one does too. You can activate it by saying, "Hey Mini," or you can press this little button over here if you want to just be a little old school. Another cute sound. Hi there, what's the temperature like?
The outside temperature is 32 degrees Celsius.
Now you see it's a little car avatar that's come up there, but you can make a little bit of a change to that. Spike is a digital bulldog assistant that is Mini's mascot. You need to buy it separately from the Mini store online. It's loyal, helpful, and a bit cheeky when it comes to responses, but also enjoyable and distinctly Mini in character. Now, the other thing I really liked about the car is when you put it into reverse, you of course get a really nice view, but the camera is actually something that manipulates itself to show you a much wider view depending on how you turn the wheel. So it's not just a fixed view, the camera actually swivels as well. That's pretty good. You also have different camera views that you can try and take a look at. It gives you the car's perspective using animated graphics, and it's sort of an AR-led experience. But this is again like a lot of other cars. Speaking of cameras though, there's also a camera in here that I want to talk about. This is the in-cabin camera, if you will, and the idea is very simple, that if you want, you can use that only when the car is static to take videos or to even take pictures that you can store onto this in-car storage, or of course on an external device as well, and you can download them or you can share them as well. The point I'm trying to make though is that the real functionality will really kick in once Mini starts to offer certain apps in India. They're not currently on offer, but the hope is that there will be an upgrade, and at some point you'll get apps like some of these, Zoom or even Microsoft Teams, that will allow you to do video conferencing using that camera. Now, I'm disappointed about a couple of things. One, that we don't get all the functions that buyers in Europe get. That's to do with what can happen in the Indian context, and also the price sensitivity, just to try and keep certain features out to keep the price a little more attractive. I'm talking about things like ADAS. I think that's a big miss. The car should have had level 2 ADAS, and I'm really disappointed it's not there. You also don't have the augmented reality option on the navigation system. While the maps are pretty cool otherwise, it would have been great to have the AR functionality that I showed you on the car in Europe. Take a look at the link of that review in our descriptor so you know what I'm talking about. All right, one thing that it does have, which I like, is a little bit of a customization that you can do on the car. It's kind of cool, it's kind of quirky, and the idea is quite simple, that it allows you to have that little extra quirky or maybe stylish quality that you can add to the car. So you go to exterior lighting, and you've got different patterns that you can fix for the DRLs. So there you go. You've got the classic pattern, which is just the full DRL in the front, and at the back, of course, the Union Jack, which is pretty much emblematic of Minis, and they've used that before, right? Even in the LED tail lights in the past. Then you've got the favored version, where you can see that the tail light has become a different pattern now. There you go. It's like two big vertical lines with a little break in the middle, and in the front just becomes a half DRL of what you had in the classic. So C-shaped, just kind of a completely different signature at night. And then you got the John Cooper Works look, where at the back it is this two sort of halves that the tail light animates to, and in the front it's a little bit of a broken DRL, if you will, with two C-shaped configuration. And it's just something quirky, it's just something nice, it's something different, and it's really nice to be able to make that selection, don't you think? If the interface inside feels miles ahead of its predecessor and a few miles ahead of the competition, on the road, it's a similar story. Like with all modern cars, you get drive modes on this one, no surprise there, but Mini has thrown in some extra drive modes, maybe just to confuse you, just to impress you. It's somewhat gimmicky, but it's all very cute. Now, the ones you really care about, of course, go-kart mode, and of course, the green mode when you want to sort of conserve the battery power. Some of these have customizable graphics, and you can also set your own picture as the home screen. The depth of color and really fresh and standout animations for these drive modes are like no other cars. The maps are really nicely animated and laid out on this round screen, but I am kind of disappointed that Mini hasn't brought us the augmented reality display where the camera comes on, it shows you exactly where you need to go, and there are these animated arrows. Let me quickly show you what I'm talking about, because the car I drove in Germany had that. Mini has partnered with Mapbox for the in-car navigation system, and it's optimized for the round screen. Unlike Google Maps, which offers a comprehensive suite of features, Mapbox offers a more tailored map experience with detailed 3D renders, but it may not have the same extensive global coverage or real-time data accuracy that Google Maps is known for, especially in India. The Mini infotainment screen is where retro charm meets space-age technology. It's all wrapped up in a package that's about as mini as a sumo wrestler in a tutu. But you know what? It's quirky, it's fun, and it works. This is one of the, if not the best, entertainment console put in a car. There, I said it. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below.